Have you ever set a big goal or had a big opportunity right there at your fingertips, but then you do things to set yourself back or slow yourself down or even just fail all the way? I have too, and I didn't really quite understand it for a long time. Now I have a better handle on why that is. I am the biggest offender, and I want to talk to you about it as well, so stay right there. Hey YouTube, it's your girl Nia. I'm back before you today with another video that makes us think and do things to contribute toward living our best lives. I want to welcome you guys back, all of my subscribers. I want to welcome the new subscribers as well. You guys mean more to me than you know. Please, if you like my content, subscribe if you have not subscribed. Share the video, like the video, comment on the video. That means a lot. I really want to grow my channel. So today I wanted to talk about something that has been plaguing me for most of my life, actually. And it is self-sabotage, y'all. Now, what exactly is self-sabotage? Self-sabotage is when people do or don't do things that block their success or prevent them from accomplishing their goals. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 reasons I feel that we are self-sabotaging. We are setting ourselves up purposely, either consciously or subconsciously, for defeat against whatever it is that we're striving after. You know, it could be something that's very, very good for us, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually. It could be an opportunity. It could be better health, better relationships. It could be anything. And we find a way. We become masters at the craft of manipulating, in a negative sense, the outcome that would have or could have been a good thing. So I did some research and I saw myself so much in my research. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is why. And yeah, check, check, check. So out of all the research I did, I wanted to highlight 5 reasons we are in fact sabotaging our own efforts to be or do better. Okay, so the first one we're going to start with is the fear of failure. Sometimes we become, say, overwhelmed, or, because sometimes the work we have to put in is a challenge, you know what I mean? And sometimes we think, all right, I'm not going to do it because it's getting really, really, really hard right now. And then what would people think? They're going to criticize me and da 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 da. So we over concern ourselves with the thoughts and opinions of other people. Feeling like we just are not built or made to live up to whatever it is that we've set for our own selves. Unfortunately, when we dwell on that too much, when we think about what if, and we may not, or da 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 da, then usually that manifests into just that thing that we're fearing the most. So it's just so important that we don't give that so much energy. And again, every video on this channel, guys, is born from experience. And so being the queen of self-sabotage for so many years, doing this research and looking these things up, I appreciate the information I found, really, because it helps me to get better in that regard and to apply things I learned and to share these things with you as they start to help me, and they have. So I want to share them with you now. Number 2 on my list of signs that we may be sabotaging ourselves is being a perfectionist. Everything has to be just so, or it's not going to be right. So a lot of times when we set out on things, we set out on, there's a bazillion examples. Somebody throw me an example in the comment section about something that you may set out on that may be a big feat, but you may feel like, okay, it's got to be just so, or it's just not going to work. Leave an example in the comments. So an example for me, something that just came to mind was, I'm a singer. So, like, say, for instance, I'm always like so hard on myself, oh, I'm going to try to cover this Whitney Houston song. I'm going to try to cover this Shaka Khan song. But if I don't hit that one note just right, then I'm going to chalk the whole song because it's just going to be a flop. But what I found, though, is even when I do hit a note off or not altogether perfectly like that singer would, it's okay. The audience still embrace it. They still embrace your style, and so I started learning to look at myself like, you know what, you're not like a failure because you're not Whitney Houston. You're not Aretha Franklin. You're not Shaka Khan. You are Nia Clark, period. So giving ourselves a little more grace, you know what I mean? And not expecting perfection out of ourselves will really, really, really go a long way when we're striving toward our goals, because if we don't, we are just almost destined to fail. And we don't want that. So the idea of all or nothing is really more harmful than it is good. It's great to, want to step into things and do the best, put your best foot forward, but not to expect to be completely perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, and we should never give up an entire goal or mission or journey if we fall here and there. You know what I mean? Just keep getting back up. So number 3 on my list of reasons I feel that we self-sabotage is we may not think that we deserve that good thing or that good outcome or that good opportunity. For whatever reason, we may not feel that, we really may not feel we deserve it. We could be good people, law-abiding people, people with big hearts, all that, and again, everything I tell you guys is from personal experience. So that's been me, like, wow, maybe I don't deserve this, when you really do deserve everything good. I just didn't always apply myself in a way that I should have, which would probably created or have created a different outcome for me. And that's okay, but I'm learning these things as I get older and putting new techniques, which we're going to talk about in a second, in place, and they really are helping in my outlook, which is why I want them to help you in your outlook. Another reason why I feel that we are self-sabotaging is we don't want to be accountable for anything that happens. We don't want to be accountable in the end. We're lazy. Bottom line, we don't want to level up. You know what I mean? It's just point blank, period. That is a reason that I can't say that I can identify with that as much as the other reasons I talked about. But that is definitely a reason I saw in my research. And it makes sense. A lot of people don't want to level up in the way of their health, their career, their opportunity. They don't want to shift into a better experience for themselves because of accountability. Some people don't want to be better parents or better spouses or do better financially because they know there's with more responsibility or better positioning requires more accountability, if you will. So that's definitely a reason, y'all. And the last reason on my little list today of reasons we may be self-sabotaging, a lot of us are afraid of success. I'm one of those people, y'all, or I think I was one of them people. So the fear of success is real. My sister told me that years ago, that she feels that I am afraid of success. And I mean, as good of a singer as I feel I am, when it came to like the Apollo and different things, I just was so fearful, like, oh, there's singer number X, she could really do the runs or she could really hit the notes. I would I think compare myself to other people as far as like my singing career and feel that, being, oh, I'm just mediocre and, not really seeing my own greatness. I thought, okay, well, what if I do make it? Then what? Then everybody's going to be looking at me all the time. And, they're going to look at my hands, my feet, and like, oh, Nia Clark's nails weren't painted. Or her hair wasn't done this week. Or da-da-da-da-da-da. Or I'm going to have to keep up this perfect image at all times. So that could be another reason why, self-sabotage happens, because we want that outcome, but then we don't want the outcome. So now we're getting into the reasons or some ways that we can address these things. I'll tell you about a couple things that help me as well, and that hopefully will help you. So let's go. I think we need, everything is from the inside, right? I think that, either having a talk with someone very close to you, like a spouse or parent, best friend, sibling, or even in some cases a therapist, just getting to the root of why you don't feel deserving or why we don't feel deserving. That was where I had to go. Therapy is a good thing, you guys. And, people shy away from it too much, particularly in the African community, the African American community, so-called African American community. But it's really a good thing. I haven't saw my therapist in a couple months now, but yeah, it's just, it's very, very good if we cannot, of our own will, pull things to the surface or identify what it is that makes us tick or that influences how we move in this life, because the goal is what? To live our best lives. So, again, we can't live our best lives if we don't address certain things. We have to put that work in. So sometimes, talking with someone, trying to find the root cause, like, why don't I feel that I'm deserving? Why am I afraid of success? That's a good thing. Like, why do I want to stay at a certain level when I have such potential to be at a different level? You know what I mean?
Why am I eating all this Burger King and starches and this and that when I just had major surgery to make a tiny tummy so that I can lose weight and fix my health?
And nobody's got a gun to our head or anything like that. It's just these things are just, they come from inside and they come from somewhere. And so it's our job when we are trying to repair ourselves, if you will, it's our job to find out, because you can put a certain habit in place for a while, eating better, eating differently. But when something really, really hits the fan, if you will, if you have not resolved these deep-seated issues, you're going to go right back to doing the same thing. And I know that for a fact because I experience that all the time. All the time. Stress. With the stress, coming on and everything, I go straight to food. And just eat for no reason. And not even the right food. Just eating for no reason. So, full transparency. There have been so many times, like right before a gig or the day before a gig. Now, too much salt. I'm over 50. Too much salt is going to blow you up. And it's like, I would go like on a binge, like chips and sunflower seeds, salted, like right before, knowing how it will make my body feel or my joints feel, rather than saying, okay, I'm going to fast or drink a lot of water, to be well hydrated for the show, to look my best. I would do the complete opposite. And I've been doing that for years and years and years and years. And, I'm still addressing some of the whys, because sometimes there's more than one why. Sometimes there's, multiple whys. And it's up to us to get to the bottom of these things so we can root this out and continue on our way. That's what the journey is all about. Experiencing, hitting your head, falling down, getting back up, figuring it out, starting all over again, things like that. It's never a smooth walk. I'm going to turn this light on because the sun's going down. Okay, that's better. I feel washed out, though. Do I look washed out? My hair looks washed out. All right. Another thing we can do is like plan ahead. And that's another thing I have been putting into place. I actually learned that from my dietitian when I was preparing for my surgery. Planning ahead. That when you're stressed out, or say for instance for me, I'm trying to alleviate these things, but right now I'm going through a very stressful time with my mom being sick and just a lot going on with that. And we're moving and there's some financial issues there, whatever. So the stress is really, really up there, right? And I know that with stress and worry, I comfort myself by eating like salty foods. I mean, by snacking just for no reason. I know that. So I know that, then what I would do is have something in place so that when I fall off, at least I'm falling into soft soil, if you will. So instead of grabbing, chips and salted nuts and things like that, I can grab the little pieces of watermelon, little chunks of watermelon, a yogurt, high protein, something, to continue me on my journey. And that's still, in line with what I'm supposed to be putting in my body, instead of just completely sabotaging myself by the other bad foods. You know what I mean? Another thing we can do to sort of combat self-sabotage, positive affirmations. Now, I have to say, I'm guilty of, I don't do this every single day. I have done it, and I kind of get off track, then I'll pick it up again. But this is a good thing. Positive affirmations. Often saying things like, you know what? I am deserving of this. I've worked hard to get XYZ, or to be able to do XYZ, or go XYZ, or own XYE, or XYZ, or be XYZ. Saying things like you deserve things, provided you're putting the work in, repeatedly, See, it takes a couple weeks to build a habit. And if we're steadily saying positive things like that to ourselves, your subconscious, it's going to get all in there like you're kneading dough. It's going to get in there good. And then after a while, you're really going to start believing that. And then you're going to take actions and doing things that show that you believe that, rather than doing things that show that you do not believe that. You understand what I'm saying? So when you start to believe that you are worthy, that you are deserving, that you've worked hard, that you've been there for other people, however it applies, when you start believing that, then you'll say things like, yeah, that's right. I deserve whatever. And you'll start putting those things in place. Stop and think about your goal, that goal or goals. Because right now I have several before the throne of God. Prayer always helps y'all. Prayer, prayer, prayer. But stop and really think about your goals. Put yourself like in the moment, or put yourself in the reality of the goal once you get there. Like for me, I've lost 86 pounds, but I want to lose another 73. So I close my eyes and I think about, wow, life would be so much better for me, for my physical experience, if I were within a certain BMI, within a certain range, because I know that I would feel better, I would have more energy, I would sleep better, all of the above. And so 86 pounds ago, I was saying the same thing. Like, oh, life will be so much better once I lose weight. Here I am, 86 pounds down, and I feel so much better. I'm not all the way at my goal yet, but still, it's like, just closing your eyes and just imagining yourself where you want to be is powerful. When you do things like that, you think, now, I want to feel better, have energy, natural energy. I don't want to be burning out every time I eat a meal. Is this Snickers really going to help me to get there? Is not exercising regularly going to help me get there? I really want to be stress-free, and I want my debts to go away, and I want to be financially healthier. Well, is buying stuff you really don't need really going to get you there? Is splurging every paycheck really going to get you there? So sometimes we have to stop and think like that when we're tempted to do that thing that's going to set us back. You know what I mean? Is this really going to be worth it? Summer's near. Is this really going to be worth it? And I've had that talk with myself. I can't tell y'all how many times. And I'll still go back to doing the same stuff. So it's like, but having that understanding of possibly why I'm doing these things helps too. Because, you want to heal. And so when you want to heal, after you found out about your whys, you're like, okay, well, I want this why to go away because I want to heal. So lastly, in my opinion, I think you should prepare your mind when it comes to defeating these self-defeating behaviors. I think most important of all, because mind is powerful, prepare your mind, okay? If I fail during this journey, I won't say fail, but if I fall backwards, if I make wrong decisions, if I do things contrary to my progress, I am not a failure. I just fell, but I can always get back up. Because when you think you're a failure, I mean, come on. When you think you're a failure, you're not going to try, right? But when you know that, yes, we all fall, but it doesn't mean that you are a failure. So we get our minds in that space, then whatever we set out to do, whenever things happen, and they will, we're more apt to get up and recover, which is what it's really all about. So we do ourselves a great service when we study and learn more about things that are affecting us directly, and really put things that we learn into place, because there's a channel I follow called A Healthy Alternative, and he's got a saying that the application of knowledge is power. Every time I heard him say that, I appreciate that, because it's true. People can have all the knowledge in the world. I know this, I know that. The demons even know the scriptures, but they don't apply the scriptures, hence them being demons. But that's another video. So it's fine to have all this knowledge and this and that, but when you're not applying the knowledge, it's not helping you at all. It's not leaving here. It's not going into every fiber of your being to help you to get where you need to be. So I think, again, that's the most important thing. Let's let that be our mission this week. Let's let that be our homework. Let's try to get things in our mind, and know that when we fail, let's try our best, first of all. First, we're going to try our best to not do things to sabotage our own efforts and our successes and our progress. We're going to keep trying to do that. But when we do hit those instances where we fail or fall off some, just remember that we're not perfect. Give ourselves a little bit grace. You know, we're not failures. Just get back up. Keep going. The road keeps going. Because guess what? When you're driving a car down the street and you hit a tree or you veer off, the road doesn't disappear, does it? That road is still there. It's still a journey. It's still there. All you have to do is get your car back together and get it together and keep on going. So let's keep on going. Let's throw out this self-defeat. It's not going to happen overnight, but we can definitely do this. Keep at it. We all want to live our best lives. I do. I want that for you as well. Share this video if you guys like my content. Please like, subscribe, share the video to anyone else who may need to see the video. I appreciate you guys' time so much as always. I love you. Love one another. And I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.
Don't rush, a little crush.